Hello everyone, thank you so much for looking into my first episode of Jay at Bethel. I'm really looking forward to documenting this entire year via video blog so you guys can stay connected with what's going on in my life. Today I'd like to start with a story. I came into Reading. One of the first things I knew I wanted to look for was an audition, to stay plugged into the theater scene, see if there's an opportunity for me to do school, but also to do a production of some sorts. And I found a theater in downtown Reading called the Cascade Theater, and they were doing a production of Mary Poppins. I was like, oh, I've never done Mary Poppins before. So I auditioned, I received a callback, and I went there for the dance auditions. Those went wonderfully. And I got a call back the next day for the lead role of Bert. So this was a 3-day audition process. And throughout this process, after the audition, I'd come home really conflicted because I'd been hearing from some of my mentors that it maybe wouldn't be wise to commit to something this early. I was only a week into moving into Reading, and I was about to make a commitment that could last half of my year. And so I was really struggling with the tension between I really wanted this role, but also I want to honor God and I want to honor my authority in my life who were saying maybe it wouldn't be wise. So between this tension, I really pressed into God saying, God, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And so as I thought more about it, I started to realize that my tendency is to spread myself thin. My tendency is to fill up every bit of available space with something to do. And just because I could make it work with my time, it doesn't mean I should. So halfway through the 3rd callback, I was one of 3 guys being considered for the lead role. I went up to the director and the management staff and I said, as much as I want this role, and I was thinking about my commitments, I need to step down from the audition process because it would be unwise of me in this season to step into an additional commitment, because really I came here to surrender the desires of my heart to God, to grow in a relationship with Him, and it would probably be really unwise to hold back something that I thought I needed. They respected my decision, but what they said next really surprised me. They actually said that they were considering me for the lead role. And in addition, the director said, you very clearly have talent. You have so much exuberance, you have so much character, which was very kind of her to say. But then she said, but more than that, you have integrity. And that meant the world to me, because I'd much rather be a man of integrity than a man of talent. I think that that's something that the world doesn't have enough of, is integrity, willing to do the right thing when no one's looking, being forthcoming when it's hard. And so this really made me think about, what do I want this first video to blog to be about? And I knew I wanted it to be about sacrifice. So this week I was really looking for quotes that represented sacrifice. One of the quotes that I found that I thought was really poignant from C.S. Lewis. He said, the terrible thing, the almost impossible thing, is to hand over your whole self, all your wishes and precautions to Christ. It's really hard for us to do that, to offer our whole self, our dreams, our desires, our wishes, offering them to Christ. And also to offer our precautions, saying, this is scary. I don't know if I fully believe that, but I think God's looking at us and saying, that's the point. Do you trust me? And so as I was thinking more about what I was holding back in that season, my frustration to try to hold back and do the show and do what I love to do instead of trusting God in this season, I had a revelation, which is that whatever price we can name that will distract us from the cause of Christ, the devil will pay. See, the devil knows that we want to hold things back. And so he'll look at what we hold in our hearts and say, I'll pay that. If that's what it'll take to get you distracted from God, I'll pay it. Wow, that's scary. It's scary to think what we hold back from God, the devil will use to completely pull us away, because he's scared. He knows what you can do when you're focused on Jesus. He knows what you can do in the world, in your community, in your schools, in your families, if you are actually focused on pursuing Jesus. So the devil will say, oh, you want money? Here, I think I can give you some of that. The devil says, you want power, fame, fortune? What do you want? I'll give it to you. But God's saying, hey, surrender it. It's not yours. And I'll give you more. I'll give you more of me, more of my love, the things that never fade. It's awesome. So for every video blog, I want to have a scripture of the month and a worship song of the month, so you can really follow along with what I'm meditating on and worshiping through. This month's scripture is actually going to be from Romans 12:1. Many of you are familiar with this verse, but I encourage you to listen a little bit closer as it pertains to the idea of sacrifice. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. It's that simple. This is worship. sacrifice. It's saying, God, I can't, you can. So I give you my life and everything in it. And like I said, there's also going to be a worship song of the month. So as you think about that scripture, I encourage you to listen to this worship song by Brian Johnson. It's actually not on iTunes, but it's on YouTube, and I encourage you to look it up and to listen to it, because it really is powerful. The lyrics go like this: You can have it all, Lord, every part of my world. Take this life and breathe on this heart that is now yours. Oh, the joy I've found, surrendering my crowns at the feet of a king who is drawn near to me. There is joy in surrendering our crowns. So think about it. What crowns do we hold back and not lay at the feet of the king who is